Have you guys ever had a project that was just an eternal work in progress? There's some element about it that keeps drawing you back to it. So you keep it on the back burner, thinking, "Oh, I'll finish this one day." And you forget about it, stumble across it again, and think, "Oh, yeah, I still want to work on this at some point." Forget about it again, and repeat until you go crazy and die. Yeah, after this piece haunted me for 4 years, I finished it in a mad and desperate fervor. Why? How? Let's get into it. So this started off, as many drawings do, as a fun little sketch. I rendered this fairly quickly in Clip Studio, and then at the end, I hated it. So I decided to rework it to align more closely to the vision I had in my head. This time in Procreate, since I was learning it at the time. The characters were drawn with more chibi proportions to keep everything looking cute and playful, since my goal was to create an environment that the viewer would want to hop into. A normal day at a fantastical fox village hidden in the mountains. The sketch was initially off-center while I solidified the perspective, but even after centering the crop, something felt off. I played around with making sure the values were where I wanted them, continued rendering in the characters, and I hated it. Again. Sensing a theme here? Something was off. But what was it? Rather than continuing to drag this sketch through the mud, I went back to thumbnails. What was wrong? What could be better? Finally, I figured it out by asking myself this. What did I like about the initial sketch? I liked the content, I liked the colors, but it didn't feel as inviting. The story wasn't there. How could I make it feel more welcoming? The hurdle was actually the point of view. See, I wanted to create a piece that felt as if it was inviting the viewer into the space. Having the viewer peer down on it like a spy on a rooftop wasn't exactly the vibe I had in mind. So we start over, from the ground floor. I built up the story of the viewer arriving to this mysterious location on a boat, perhaps from their dreams, and find this wonderful place rife with play and colorful characters to meet. At last, this piece was starting to feel right. In order to keep it looking cohesive, I limited my color scheme to include only half of the color wheel. The colors from yellow, green to magenta, all the warm colors. For a piece as detailed as this, it helped me to keep a layer with just notes so that I could refer back to it at any time, making sure I didn't miss anything by the end. Once all of that was locked in, I set the piece down again and didn't work on it until I remembered it a few months later. Why? What was the problem this time? Seeing all of the characters I still needed to render, I didn't want to render them. There were so many. And I was strangely afraid of messing up and having to start over again. However, I think I was even more afraid of dropping this piece forever. I really, truly did want to finish it, even if it was only for me. So, what do we do when we're overwhelmed with choice? We take it one step at a time. From top to bottom, I focused on rendering at least one character per drawing session. Each of them with their own color palette, their own little personality waiting to burst to the forefront. What I initially found to be overwhelming very quickly became fun, until finally we reached my favorite stage. compositing. I just love compositing. The finish line is within sight, and all of the elements of the piece have come together. So here I emphasized the shading and lighting from all of the major light sources, united the piece with a gradient overlay of brown to orange to gold, and added a couple of finishing touches, and then voila. Is it a perfect piece? Far from it. Should I have given up on it a long time ago and made something else? Maybe. But as a personal challenge, I finished it. Every time I reworked this piece, there were new problems to solve. I had to improve as an artist before I could finish it. I'm sure down the road, as my art improves further, I'll look back on this piece and cringe at the things I could have done better. But as a testament to overcoming what felt like a mountain, with another mountain behind it, another mountain behind that, just a whole range. It's finally done, and I'm proud. So, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully it won't be like this again. I don't want to do this again.